so I don't know. Maybe I should just recall. Right. I'll drop out and call you again. Can you see me now?
Can you see me?
I can see you. Yeah.
That is weird. Anytime someone joins the call, my video drops out. Apparently they can see our face cam. I don't know if they can hear us.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh, hi
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Welcome to week 5 of the Legacy Mediocre League. Today we have a really interesting matchup. We've got the Eldrazi Menace on one side and a cube deck on the other.
Pretty much. We got Danny, who's trying to make Elspeth's Son's champion work in Legacy. Yeah, quite a big task for him.
Julian, can you see the match? Because
Oh,
okay,
okay, it was one.
we're dealing with some technical difficulties, but you have our lovely faces to look at in the meantime, and I'm sure we'll be getting started soon.
Yeah, Dave and I were just talking about the matchup, Eldrazi versus the Cube/Planeswalker deck. And, like, Dave, what do you think? Who's ahead in the first game?
So I think that Danny has a good matchup in the first game because if he can get a Veteran Explorer down, and then pretty much do just about anything, like Pernicious Deed is very, very good after that. So are a lot of the Planeswalkers. Then he has a really good shot. But you know what? The Chalice on 1 could be really detrimental to Danny's plans, even in game 1.
Yeah, I think the matchup really hinges a lot on whether Danny can make his Veteran Explorers work, because once he gets that like double time walk mana wise, he's gonna be able to not only use Pernicious Deed but also Elspeth's Sun's Champion's ability, which is like -3 to destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater, which is gonna be pretty good against Romario, I guess. But as we've seen before, Danny's mana isn't always working out, and with the Eldrazi deck also running, actually he doesn't have Wastelands. I just saw, so that's something, I guess. But it's still gonna be quite the uphill battle if he doesn't get his mana to work.
I don't know if you've had much experience with the Eldrazi deck, but how do you like Wasteland in the deck? Some people are playing 4, some people are playing less than 4, some people are playing 0.
Like I personally would always just stick to what a friend of mine is playing, who's been like super successful with it, and I think he doesn't play Wastelands at all, but I'm not sure. Like just from the top of my head, I would say yes, of course, you want Wastelands. But let me check it out. For anyone running, it's Anton Kolinsky, who just won the last Superstar of Mox in a row, and he's running 2 Wastelands, yeah. But he's also running the White Splash, which is a bit tougher on the mana, so you probably can't afford for Wastelands. And he's running no Mishra's Factories, so I guess that's what I would stick with. But in a monocolored list, I guess you can afford more Wastelands, but Romario is opting for the Mishra's Factory here for the additional beats.
Yeah, we have JD Phoenix saying Wasteland is awful in the deck from our Twitch chat. I've actually played this deck a lot, and I think that you need some number of Wastelands. I don't think you can go 0 Wastelands, but I don't think you can go to 4 Wastelands either. Like, you just don't have enough room for the awesome lands that you want to play, like, you know, the lands that produce 2 mana, and also Cavern of Souls, which is crucial to the deck, and Mishra's Factory, which is very good against miracles.
Yeah, especially since Eldrazi doesn't really play the traditional mud game where you try to lock out your opponent under a couple of spheres and lodestone golem and stuff. It's not that important to the game plan. It's more of it's more of tactical value. It's not like part of your strategy to really constrict your opponent's ability to do something. You're going for the more proactive plan of just reducing his life total to 0 to restrict him from doing anything.
We have Eldrazi expert Buruk saying that he said in the Eldrazi thread that wastelands are only for problematic lands and it isn't that great. Buruk, of course, won something. He's too good for our league. That's why I know. He won some big tournament, some big online tournament.
Which
That's
is
why we have
alright.
Lejay, right? He beat
Yeah.
Lejay, right? Something like that. Okay. How's it going, Mike?
So Baruch won the Legacy Challenge on Magic Online, which is what Dave referred to. And in case you're wondering, this one is coming up tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon or morning, depending on where you live. I think it's at 8 p.m. my time, which should be like if you're living on the West Coast, that's -9, so something like, I don't know, 11 in the morning. Yeah. So if you got a Legacy deck, and I think if you manage to top 16 that tournament,
Oh my God!
oh, they
Looks
are
like
playing.
Romario just crushed. Wow, that
You
was
crushed them.
quick. Was that game
Okay.
one? That must have been game one. Oh, I hope we didn't lose that. So it looks like Romario had some Endbringers and other big creatures and just smashed Danny's face in.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Did he go first? I guess.
I I have no
I saw
idea.
an
I
Oath
think
of Nissa, which is always like kind of bad when you don't get to do something proactive.
well, I think we know who's going first in game two at the very least.
So interestingly, he looks not to bring in the Leylands of the Void to shut off the Veteran Explorer.
Uh-huh. So it looks like he took out the Dismembers and GTAs, which we thought he was going to do. Did you see which
Yeah,
cards he brought in? The All Is Dust, gotta be, right?
yeah, the All Is Dust is in, and I think that's no. He must have brought in two more cards. Let me pull up his deck list. He probably brought in the. Jeez. Probably something that we can't see.
And I didn't catch
Oh, he
Danny's
brought in the two Thorn of
second.
Amethysts, which is a
Oh,
bit weird. It's not that weird. It still shuts down the
no,
Planeswalkers. Yeah,
yeah, I
it
think
actually
that's
makes
pretty cool.
perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a Sphere of Resistance that's just one-sided, because most of Danny's deck is going to be
Yeah.
one, or non-creature spells. Okay, here we go. We're back to the match. Romario's up one game. So Dan's gonna go first. Looks like he's got a Deed and a Jace, which are both great.
Yeah, he mulliganed
Oh,
and oh, and he also had the Veteran. I think we can't see the entire hand.
yeah. So Veteran Explorer, as we were talking, is very key to the matchup. It lets Danny get 2 extra lands from his deck, where Mario gets nothing if it dies. I think
And
Pernicious. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, Romario is sitting on a pretty good curve. Like he's gonna go for turn 2, Thought Knot Seer, turn 3, Reality Smasher. And if need be, like he's probably gonna have enough mana for all his dust at some point. So yeah, I kinda like that. Like if he goes for Thought Knot Seer, he's probably gonna take the Pernicious Deed, but then he can hide it with Brainstorm. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I actually don't like. Oh, there's a Urborg. Okay, so I was about to say that Romario's going to take a ton of damage because he's sitting on 3 Ancient Tombs, but the Urborg's going to make him able to stop taking damage at some point.
Yeah, and especially against the Planeswalker deck of Danny, who's not gonna really pressure him, it's not that critical. Like your life total is a resource that you really want to use in that matchup.
Yes. Uh, so looks like Danny's brainstorming to hide away the Thought Knotsier. I think. Well, you definitely want to hide away the Jace, right?
Do you?
Well, Elspeth is way better in this matchup because of Reality Smasher, right?
Yeah. I think you want to
I'm not even sure.
cast Deed next turn, so you want to hide it on top.
Okay, so we're saying Deed is the most important. That makes sense. Um, looks like Jace and Deed are going to be hid. The Thought Nuts here is probably going to take what Thoughtseize.
I think it's gonna take the Elspeth.
Well,
It,
Romario already has an All Is Dust for the Elspeth.
yeah,
I
but
guess
like the All Does still doesn't stop the minus ability on Elspeth. So
that's true.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
somewhat unfortunate for Danny that he probably doesn't get. Oh, okay, so he doesn't get to cast his Thoughtseize at all.
yeah. So here's the Pernicious Deed. Dane's probably going to hold the Veteran Explorer back and try to block. Here's the Cavern of Souls.
Thing is he really gonna do that? Because Reality Smasher still tramples on top of it. On the other hand, then Romario knows that Danny's gonna have enough mana for Elspeth next turn, which is awkward for him.
Yeah, I think this is a problematic situation for Romario because if he plays Smasher and attacks, then Danny gets the two needs he needs for Pernicious Deeds activation, or he could just play Elspeth and kill the big creatures. So this is the position that Danny wants to be in. He's got Veteran Explorer on the table, and it's preventing Romario from extending his board.
Did I miss something? Did Danny not block the Thought Seer?
No attacks. Okay. So here's an attack with the Thought Seer. I assume it's just going to get blown up by what? No blocks. Okay.
I guess
What?
he's gonna wait until end of turn so he can blow it up for 4.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just block then? If you're blowing up Pernicious Deed anyway, don't you just want Trump?
Yeah,
You could also blow it up for more than 4.
yeah, that's true. That's a bit awkward. I think I don't want to call it a misplay, but it looks like it. Yeah, like he gave away 4 damage for nothing.
He could easily be thinking about something that we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, so blows up the Pernicious Deed for 4, killing the Thought Seer and the Veteran Explorer. So he's going to get 2 more lands, and he draws a card.
I mean, technically, one thing you could play around is Warping Veil in response, but even that in response to the deed activating, so you wouldn't get the extra lands. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with.
But yeah, but then you'd want to block because if they try to
Especially,
Warping Veil it, yeah. Anyway, so this is actually going to work out pretty well for Romario, I think. He's going to so Danny plays Elspeth. I think Romario is free to just cast all his dust right now and clear away the Elspeth. And then when Danny follows it up with a Jace, he's going to be able to use Reality Smasher to attack Jace. One, two, three,
So,
four.
yeah.
Yep. This is 7 mana.
I mean, there's no point in waiting, I guess. Yeah, he goes straight for it. And now Danny's down to Chase, which doesn't really feel amazing in this matchup. Unless it draws you into additional mass removal. I mean,
Yeah.
he should have a second Elspeth, which he probably wants to draw here. Or
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure Romario wishes he was playing, like, for all his dust for this matchup. Instead, Danny looks like he found 2 Veteran Explorers, a couple lands, and a Therapy. I think I shuffle away the lands here and play the Explorers because they're.
I think I want to keep the fetch land. And I would shuffle away the Swamp and maybe the Abrupt Decay. Like, you get a hit with Kappa Therapy, and if you miss, you can still flashback with the Veteran Explorer. So I'm more inclined to keep the fetch land, a Veteran Explorer, a Kappa Therapy, and then something. But he shuffles away the fetch land. Oh, but he gets the fetch to shuffle anyways, yeah.
Exactly. I like the Veteran Explorers here because each of those represent 2 lands. Although Danny's going to run out of
basics
at some point.
He's got 2, 4, 6. Yeah, he's got 7 basic lands, so there's still 3 left in the deck.
Yeah, so Danny actually blind hits the Reality Smasher. So this really worked out for him. He's going to hit the Smasher. He's probably going to get rid of the Matter Reshaper. I don't know, or Endless One. Gets probably the Realities. Matter Reshaper, because then he can Abrupt Decay the Endless One, and he has everything that Romario has covered for the time being.
So what is Romario looking to draw here?
Reality Smasher.
Yeah, just running Reality Smashers off the top for the rest of the game.
Even
Endbringer isn't that impressive because of Chase.
Yeah. I mean, whenever someone casts Cabal Therapy on you, you want to draw that card, right? That's the card you want to draw for the rest, or maybe not the rest of the game, but okay. So
I guess the second all is dust helps him out, but but on top of that, it's just Reality Smashers or bust.
Yeah, and I think he's going to need one. Otherwise, Danny's going to pull too far ahead and with Jace.
Well,
Oh,
that's
but
honest
there's
dust.
yeah,
And speaking of the
and
devil,
now both players will be at parity, pretty much.
and I guess Danny could have the better top decks, but in the absence of removal, well, I guess he's got Abrupt Decay. Romario is live to draw a lot more creatures. Don't matter. But Danny's got the big bombs that he can draw.
Yeah, I think Danny is favored from this position, but it looked a whole lot. It looks a whole lot worse than it did before that draw step from Romario.
The chalice is actually quite important because it shuts down like a couple of cantrips, like Brainstorm and Oath of Nissa.
Yeah, and it also makes Danny have to think whether he wants to use this Erupt K on it or not. So if you're Romario, what do you play this Endless one for?
For as much as he can.
I would play it for 6 because that's a 2-turn clock.
Oh
He
yeah,
pays it for 5 so that he only goes down to 4 instead of 2. Um, but I would just try to end this in 2 swings. So
yeah.
Danny's
He also
going,
knows that. Yeah, I guess he knows that Danny has 3 slots to plowshares, so I guess he wants to play it extra safe. Hmm.
but if it's bigger, you just gain more life.
Yeah, but if I gain life, I. Well, on the other hand, yeah, he can't really use his Ancient Tombs anymore right now. Like, he can only use one of them.
No, you could use Urborg.
Yeah, but only for 1 mana then.
Anyway, so it looks like Danny whiffed on the
Whoa.
Danny whiffed on the Oath of Nissa, but here he draws Elspeth, which is going to be able to either clear away the Endless one or tick up. Do you like clearing? Do you like going down or up here?
Since he's like if he goes up, he still might lose to Reality Smasher because then he's got 3 blockers. Yeah, he loses to Reality Smasher if you go up here. So I don't know. Oh no, he doesn't because of course he can just block the Endless one. Yeah, so I guess going up is fine.
Yeah, I like going up too. It gets you close to Elspeth's ultimate, which is a way to win the game. As soon as Elspeth ultimates, that's
Yeah.
probably going to finish the game. You know what? If Danny used my, well, Gideon's actually going to fish it right here. If Romario went with my plan of making a 6/6 endless one, he would have been dead on board there. Um, but he's going to die to Gideon anyway.
And then he takes the second game.
All right, so we get to see a third game between these two guys.
Let's see if there's any changes in sideboarding.
Yeah, it looks like Danny did what you said. Oh, he submitted so quickly. It looks like he did what you said in bringing in the Swords to Plowshares. I don't know about the Vindicate.
It seems kind of slow, especially on the draw and against sphere effects. I'm not a fan. The thing is, what I'm surprised about, I guess I'm not that surprised about him keeping the discard because he's like the card you still want to hit the most is probably Reality Smasher and All Dust, and they don't come down until the 3rd turn or 4th turn usually.
Yeah.
So you get some time, and then you just hope that Romario doesn't start the Chalice on 1.
Yeah. Did Romario just change something? He sided out Warping Whale and brought. Do you see what he brought in? He's
Uh,
thinking.
I think there's a part of his main deck that we can't see.
Yeah. Okay, so Romario's going to be on the play here for game 3, and this looks like a good hand. It's pretty good.
Oh, and it shuts down the entire hand of
Oh
Danny.
man. Is he going to go for a turn 1? Oh, and Danny instantly mulligans, knowing his weakness to Chalice on 1. So it looks like Romario kept. Do you go for the Chalice, the quick Chalice here?
It depends. Like, what's your follow-up play? Turn 2 Matter Reshaper, but then you lose your city. I mean, you're not gonna do anything else anyways. So you could do it, especially considering since how dependent Danny's deck is on the 1-drops. I mean, it's a bit risky, but I don't hate it.
Oh, and it looks like he's going for it. Chalice on 1, turn 1. And so Danny's gonna just kind of sit here a while. He doesn't even have mana to cast Pernicious Deed.
He still needs another green or a black to get there. Meanwhile, taking 3 damage off the Matter Reshaper.
Yeah.
Soon to be joined by the Mishra's Factory. Actually, as soon as next turn.
Yeah.
But he
So
found the
there's
blacks,
swamp.
so yeah.
Yeah, and Pernicious Deed is going to do a lot of damage here. He's going to
Deed is
take
really
5.
great. Yeah, it's also going to take out the Chalice.
Yeah, and Romario can't really activate the Mishra's Factory on the turn that Danny has D-Dub.
Oh, Danny's draws have been perfect thus far.
Yes. Yes, it does.
It
Deed
does.
hits lands if they're creatures.
Yeah. So he's threatening to take out the Mishra's Factory should it activate. So I guess Romario's just gonna attack for 3 here.
No, it's gonna attack for 5. I mean, well,
But I wouldn't really
uh,
like, especially with this hand, I wouldn't really mind taking 3 of the Veteran Shaper because the next turn you go Innocent Blood after casting Veteran Explorer, and then you cast Garruk on the same turn.
yeah, I think
Like,
you're right, and
oh,
that's exactly what happened.
that's gonna be insane now.
So this
If
is
the
going to
color
go,
works out, but I guess it should.
yeah, Veteran Explorer into Innocent Blood into Garrick.
Or
I guess,
jeez.
or Jace, yeah.
The value.
Wow. Okay, did Matter Reshaper just reveal a Matter Reshaper? I think it did.
I guess that, yeah, that's why it
That's
stays in play. Kind of stays in play, I guess.
that's the best scenario that Romario could have hoped for. He's gonna play Jace.
And he's gonna minus, I guess. I mean, technically you could
This,
+2, but I'd rather minus because it also slows down Romario.
yeah, this is probably going to work out for Romario. I think this is going to work out pretty well for him though, because he's got that All Is Dust. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure then he's gonna play the Garruk next turn, and then he's.
oh no,
But
but it's
how
not.
far are we from Honest Nest?
Oh, that sort of splashers is good. So Eye of Ugin discounts it. And then Urborg lets Ugin, the Eye of Ugin, tap for mana. I think he's 1 mana short from the mana he's going to have available next turn.
Yeah. And his Brainstorm didn't find any discards, so I wonder. Oh, he shuffled away the Garruk? Or did I miss something?
No. The Thought Not Seer took the Garrick.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so Mario's going to play an Matter Reshaper. I think he should follow it up with an Endless One here.
Yeah. I play a lot
Yep,
of pressure and then
sure enough.
Honest Dust.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5/5, I believe. And he can't necessarily. Whoa.
That must have been a misclick.
No, he's going to play the
Oh,
Thorn
he's gonna play the
Advantage.
Thorn. I always keep forgetting about the Orbog.
But
Which is, yeah,
the Thorn is going to slow down
purge
that
him.
All Is Dust one more turn.
True. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting that he starts to plowshare the other guy and not the Endless One, because if he goes minus on the Endless One, it's gonna come back down bigger. But I guess it doesn't matter now because now he drew into like really good stuff. And the Valentine even stops the All Dust. Should need be. If
Uh,
he's got the awareness to actually play around that.
yeah, well, you know what you don't have to do, or sorry, you know what plays around it is Karn Liberated. Karn is not a colored permanent.
You could also just Karn and like take the last card from his hand.
Yeah, he's 1 mana
I
short now because of the Thorn.
think he's gonna vindicate the. Is he actually gonna go for the creature or for the Eye of Ugin? He's gonna go for the
Oh yeah,
creature.
I think you just keep the creature off the table because that way you can continue to develop your planeswalkers. Yep, and here's a Karn, and I think that's going to be game. I don't think any sequence of draws from Romario is going to be able to save him from this, especially with the Fate Sealing from Danny.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I guess he could have drawn Smasher there to
I
attack
mean,
Karn.
yeah, Smasher to attack Karn is okay, but there's still a Venser in Danny's hand. I think from this point it's just pretty hopeless for
Yeah.
Romario.
Now that Danny untapped, I don't really see Romario doing anything here.
So this actually went different than how I expected anyway. I expected the game one to be favoring for Danny, while games 2 and 3 were favored for Romario. And the exact opposite happened. So I guess that just goes to show you that Magic is very unpredictable.
Yeah, especially once you involve Eldrazi's. Like, speaking of good and bad matchups with Eldrazi, sometimes becomes a mute point when Eldrazi just hits like the perfect draw and locks you out of the game while killing you on the fourth turn or something. So we didn't really see what happened the first game, but I guess it was a quite explosive start of Romario. Something we talked about that Romario didn't do was he didn't bring in the Ley Lines of the Void,
Yeah.
which could have prevented like a lot of early mana for Danny. So I would really love to see how the matchup plays out if you don't get to Veteran Explorer your lands into play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you just think about how many lands that Danny got off of Veteran Explorers this match. Between games 2 and 3, it's 4 or 6. So it looks like we're about to see a Jace ultimate, and
I want to see a Karn ultimate. What did he remove? Did he remove any sweet permanents that he could get back with Karn? That's not that sweet.
Just start the game with Eye of Ugin in play.
Which
Well,
literally
okay,
does nothing in
you can
Danny's deck, I
plus
guess.
you plus the Karn on
On
yourself.
yourself?
You
Yeah.
take the Jace, and then you start the game with Eye of Ugin and Jason in play.
That would be so mean.
So we've got Chalice on 1 from Romario. It's going to shut off the Brainstorm that Danny just drew, but it doesn't matter.
It's kind of
Jace
funny how
is...
Danny is like in perfect control, but he still needs to find something to actually end the game.
Yeah, he's got
But
Jason
that's
play.
Chase. Yeah, that works.
Danny being very aggressive about what he's exiling here. There's an Eldrazi Temple. That's not going to do it. All right. Danny wins. All right, so we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back with match 2. I don't actually know who. Brett on Sneak and Show versus Caleb on Tinpin. So we're going to see another Grizzlebrand mirror match. So stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
See you later.